Hi, my name is Sean Smith, and welcome to another OmniEd.org resource. And today we're going to focus on engaging learners. Now, of course, when we think of engaging learners, we think pre-pandemic or maybe post-pandemic, as we're hopefully around the corner here. And we think of the individuals that are just attentive and their hands are raised and they're ready to go. What does engagement look like, though, in remote, hybrid, face-to-face but at a social distance, face-to-face where we're wearing our mask? What does that look like? And realizing that maybe with hybrid, we have some students that are face-to-face and other students that are online at home. Or maybe everyone's online at home. Or maybe they're online at home certain days and face-to-face other days. Or they also have an adult at home, be it mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, some adult caregiver. What does engagement look like with all these different variables? Well, today I'm not going to focus in on all those answers. Instead, I want to focus in on a segment with the digital tools. Now, we can organize things at the right pace and space for the student to further engage them. We can give them regular feedback, especially formative feedback. That will enhance engagement. We can also individualize things through competency-based instruction. That's an awesome way to engage learners. But another way is to collaborate. Now, when I think of collaboration, I think of the fact that if I create collaborative experiences, be it in class, out of class, remote, hybrid, etc., I can engage my students, particularly if they're collaborating with their peers. It's a very motivating way, totally separate from digital resources and totally separate from the pandemic. It's just good ways to enhance engagement, and that is through student collaboration. Now, when I think of collaboration and COVID, I know I'm going to have small groups. They might be virtual small groups. They might be face-to-face small groups with masks at a distance. They could be in the hallway. They could be down the hall in another classroom. It could be extracurricular opportunities, a variety of different ways that I can do this in terms of collaboration with student engagement. And there's a variety of different tools. Now, the tool I'm going to focus in on is a tool that I believe many of us have access to, and many of us are probably already using, and that is Google Classroom, but particularly Google Slides. See, Google Slides, as many of us already know, allow me, the teacher, the aide, the parent, to demonstrate what I want to convey and support and relay to the individual. For the individual or small groups of individuals, they can demonstrate what they know through the Google Slide. Now, Google Slide, like Google Classroom, has a number of different embedded resources. They have tools like speech to text. They have opportunities for us to embed comments. They have a variety of different ways to allow for synchronous, but also asynchronous type of instruction. So, with that said, let's illustrate just a couple. I'll give you some resources, and then we'll call this segment a day. So, first of all, I'm going to organize students into small groups, and I'm doing that because I want them to interact together. I want to give them a place for them to interact. Well, inside Google Classroom, I could provide a Google Slide. I could provide a Google Slide stack where I provide directions, I provide a variety of supports, and then it's sitting inside Google Classroom. The students opens it up, and then they manipulate it. Now, they manipulate it with my directions. I could put in images as directions. I could put in verbal directions. I can put in video directions. I could use text and images. I could type in an arrow and say, type here. And the list of things goes on. Now, I could also offer illustrations on these slides. Now, these slides could be slides that the student is then directed to delete, and of course, after they've created with those directions on the next slide. It could be that they delete the directions or the scaffolds or the supports that are on the slide as they replace it with their own material. Now, the beauty of this also is the fact that I can add to this, me being a student, and then later on in the afternoon, another student can add to it, and maybe the next morning, another student can add to it, and so they don't necessarily have to be live to make these connections. Now, there's a variety of resources I want to give to you that allow for you to better understand how to use these Google Slides. There's a video in terms of reinforcing of that, but before we get to that video, there's a couple web pages I want to reinforce. Now, here's one. Here's one page, a web page. Let me make it a little bit larger for all of us to see and make it a little bit bigger in terms of text. This is simply a slideshow that offers, a website that offers a variety of different ways to use Google Slide. Particularly everything from, well, create an online course, but also make memes with it, and everything from there's assessments to lab reports, different ways. You click, you go, it gives you directions. So that's one way. There's another tool off my slideshow that is linked also into your YouTube links, and that is, this is simply a way to use Google Classroom for communicating and allowing students to stay organized. But in doing so, easy ways to collaborate, collaborative stories, collaborate with non-Google users, etc., etc., etc. So a number of different basic ways to use Google Slides, but for group interaction and collaboration. Finally, there's a site here with Common Sense Media is using Google Slides for collaboration. They actually created this. And so Molly H, as a teacher, gives you 5 different ideas with the actual Google Slides in hand for you to basically take and run with to better understand how to collaborate with Google Slides in remote, face-to-face, etc. type of instruction. All right, so those are all links available to you at your leisure when you get off this YouTube and want to go better understand how to use Google Slides for that collaboration. So again, thank you very much for attending. My name is Sean Smith. You were part of omnied.org, which has a number of different resources on omnied.org, including a number of different videos that offer illustrations, checkpoints, blogs, and a host of other things. Now, this is one of several when it comes to engaging learners. Feel free to check in with me and take a look at some other ideas I have for digital solutions to engage learners. And if this is one of several you've already watched, I hope it's been helpful. Have a great day.